In the summer of 1998, the Walker family decided to spend the weekend at Shenandoah National Park in Virginia, a place known for its lush landscapes, mountainous trails, and absolute silence. They arrived on a Saturday morning. The father, Robert, wanted the kids to experience life away from screens. The mother, Helena, had prepared everything carefully: lunch boxes, bug spray, blankets, and even a disposable camera for their eldest son, Ethan Walker, 12 years old. Curious, intelligent, a bit introspective. He loved photographing strange things: twisted trees, crawling insects, odd shadows on the ground. That morning they followed the trail marked C3, one of the park's most remote. At 11:47 a.m., according to Robert's watch, Ethan walked a few steps ahead of the group to take a photo. He pointed the camera toward a moss-covered rock formation, gave a "be right back" wave, and was never seen again. The search began immediately. Park rangers, tracking dogs, helicopters. In 72 hours, nothing. No footprints. No signs. No trace. Temperatures had dropped sharply at night, and the chances of finding a child alive shrank by the hour. But then, on the morning of the fourth day, something happened. A white envelope with no return address was left at the ranger station. Inside there was only one thing: a photograph. Developed. Recent. It showed Ethan standing beside a pale bark tree. He was smiling and holding the hand of someone or something, partially obscured by shadow. The strange part? The photo had clearly been taken from the very spot where Ethan had vanished. Same day, same time. But the figure beside him wasn't anyone from the family. Not anyone known to be in the park that day. And, according to forensics, not entirely human. The FBI took over the case. But the investigation hit its first wall quickly. Ethan's disposable camera was never found. No negatives. No fingerprints. No leads, only the photo. Along the photo's border, written in red ink: "First comes the curve, then the exchange." No one ever deciphered the meaning. Not linguists, not psychologists. To the public, the investigation went cold. The case was closed. But behind closed doors, internal FBI documents labeled the incident as Anomaly Level 3. In the months that followed, the family fell apart. The father fell silent. The mother became obsessed. She returned to the park over 50 times. On one of those visits, she left a note wedged between rocks. A date was scribbled in the corner: August 3rd. He'll try to return. Years later, an explorer found that same note. And next to it, another photograph. And this time, the dark figure beside the boy was looking directly at the camera. And what was in its eyes was not human. In 2011, an investigative journalist named Adam Sloan began researching unexplained disappearances in U.S. national parks. What he found was disturbing. Over 1,600 people had vanished in federal lands in the last 50 years. Most were never found. But there was a pattern. More than 30 of those cases happened near strange rock formations. And in 5 separate incidents, the last known location of the missing person was Trail C3 in Shenandoah National Park. One case stood out. Case #74D, the disappearance of Clara Ridley, 1939. A 27-year-old woman vanished during a solo hike. Before she left a note at her lodge. "The forest calls me by name. If I don't come back, don't look behind the white stone." The case was closed as a probable exposure death. But something didn't sit right. Adam visited the park. He went there exactly 13 years after Ethan's disappearance. Same trail. Same day. Same hour. He carried only a recorder, a flashlight, and Ethan's mother's journal. He found the white stone. It had vertical cracks, and a color that seemed to pulse under the moonlight. As he got closer, he noticed something carved into it. Symbols. Markings. Letters resembling a mix of indigenous script and old European characters. He took pictures, recorded the ambient sound. But when he touched the stone, everything changed. The recorder picked up a strange sound, multiple voices whispering at once in different languages. But the most unsettling part came afterward. The next morning, Adam received an anonymous email. Subject: "You touched the stone. Now they know." In the body, just a link. A video. No title. No sender. The video showed a woman, sitting on the floor of a cave covered in dry leaves. She was whispering incoherent phrases. But one stood out. "Tell Ethan, the exchange is done. And that I remember." Adam paused the video, zoomed in on the woman's face. It was Ethan's mother. But she was aged, well into her 60s. The problem? She had vanished at 42. Adam dove deeper into what he called the buried side of the story. He interviewed old locals, retired rangers, and even a former FBI agent. The man, under anonymity, shared something that changed everything. Trail C3 should have been shut down in the 60s. In 1962, the government ran an experiment there. They called it Project Throne. It was about frequencies, sounds that affect the human brain at a subconscious level. But it went wrong. People started walking into the woods and never coming back. Adam combed through government archives. Most were sealed, but one was accessible. A 1930s map with red-marked areas, locations of strong resonance points. One of those points was exactly where Ethan had vanished. Next to it, handwritten: "Unstable gate. Temporal fluctuation. Do not interact." Days later, Adam received another envelope. This time with something even more disturbing. Another photograph. Ethan. Older. About 25. Sitting on a rock. The background, a dark cave, dimly lit by firelight. Behind him, a tall, hooded figure with long, thin hands, staring directly into the lens. On the back, a single caption: "He's still learning. But soon he'll be one of us." Adam realized that the truth wasn't just about a disappearance. It was about time, consciousness, and something that should never have been awakened. Adam Sloan was no longer the same. After receiving the photo of an older Ethan, standing beside the hooded figure, something in him fractured. He tried to live normally, but the walls of his house creaked every night. His clock would stop at 11:47, the exact time Ethan had vanished. And sometimes when he closed his eyes, he'd see the white stone, even from his own bed. One rainy morning, he woke up curled in a fetal position on the floor, clutching something unfamiliar. It was a sheet of aged paper, nearly illegible, but written in Ethan's mother's handwriting. "Exchange accepted. I saw you in the reflection, but you didn't see me." From that day forward, the dreams began. But they didn't feel like dreams. They felt like memories that weren't his. He saw himself walking ancient trails, witnessing animals that no longer existed, mountains where there should have been plains, and always, in the distance, the same tall figure, faceless, just deep, endless eyes, reflecting everything he had tried to forget. One day, Adam visited the abandoned Walker house. Inside, nothing had changed, as if time itself had paused. On a dusty shelf, he found Ethan's journal. One of the last pages read, "Today he let me out for a while. But everything's wrong. The sky looks like the bottom of the lake. People don't have shadows. I think I'm older now, but I don't know how much." On the bedroom mirror, a message written in something dark, almost like dried blood. "Mom said to wait here, but I think she got lost too." Adam began to question everything. What if he was vanishing too? What if the world he trusted was just the visible part of something far older? Then came a recording, dropped into his inbox without explanation. Hissing static. A child's voice. "I don't know where I am, but I know you're hearing this. There's always an exchange. But once you see, you can't unsee. That night Adam snapped. He locked himself in his room, ripped through every document, every photo, until he reached the final page of Ethan's mother's journal. There was a symbol he had never noticed before, and beneath it a sentence: "The door never closes, it just changes sides." The next day he woke up outside, alone, in the middle of the forest, the same spot where Ethan had vanished, but with no memory of how he got there. In his hand a letter, dated 2037, signed by himself. "Adam, don't fight it. You're already on the other side. Forget time. It already forgot you." Adam didn't know who he was anymore. Didn't know the year. Or if he was still a man, or just the echo of someone else's memory. His final audio message, sent before he vanished again, said, "The forest breathes. The stone watches. And I just wanted to understand why all this started. But now, I think it was me who needed to disappear." Maybe what we call disappearance is simply a return to a place that's always been ours. After Adam Sloan's disappearance, his material was collected by an anonymous research group. They called themselves Section 0. Scientists, former agents, linguists, even a cartographer expelled from the U.S. Geospatial Agency. One of the members sent a sealed box to an independent journalist named Darren Holt. Inside the box, an old camcorder, 3 labeled tapes, a 1935 Shenandoah map, and a white spherical object, a stone that pulsed in darkness. The tapes contained Adam's final recordings. In them he looked shaken, but still lucid. He spoke about discovering a fixed temporal axis, a flaw in linear time perception that manifests in areas with intense electromagnetic activity. Shenandoah, he said, was the most active. According to Adam, the symbols on the white stone weren't just carvings. They were instructions, fragments of a ritual, repeated through the centuries. Ancient civilizations knew. Egyptians, Druids, mountain shamans. All spoke of the same thing, the gates, and all required the same price: memory. In one tape, Adam walks through a pitch-black forest. He whispers, "They're not demons, not spirits. They're old minds. We call them the hooded ones, but they've always been here. And when you get too close to the truth, they see you. And once they see you, you start forgetting who you are." In the third tape, Adam looks nearly unrecognizable. He says something that flips the story. "I am Ethan. I remember now. But in another body. In another time. I made the exchange. He gave me this chance. But I got it wrong." Darren attempted to publish part of the archive. Within 48 hours, the website was taken down. His computer vanished. And he received a handwritten note. "You saw. Now they'll try to make you forget." Darren went to Shenandoah and found something that should not exist. A door, carved into rock, but made of industrial iron, with symbols from the U.S. Department of Energy. Beside the entrance, a moss-covered sign. Project Throne. Restricted access. Violators will be removed immediately. Darren recorded everything. But as he approached the doorway, he heard something from inside. His own voice. "You still don't understand. You were always here." Darren vanished. 2 days later, his camera was found resting on the white stone. The last image captured him looking towards something behind the lens. And for a split second, the reflection in his eye showed a hooded figure standing beside him. Section 0 released confidential documents from Project Throne. They showed that the government tried, from the 60s through the 80s, to control these temporal rift zones for military purposes. But subjects exposed to them began reporting memories that weren't their own. Others stopped recognizing their own reflections. One report read, "There's no way to contain the phenomenon. It's organic, as if the forest itself is conscious and wants to absorb us into it." The final document? A list of 42 names, all missing, all genetically connected to Ethan Walker. And the last name on the list, Adam Sloan. Record altered, previous name Ethan Walker. If you still remember, there's still time to forget. The forest doesn't take anyone by force. It simply returns what was left behind. The last official record of Adam Sloan was a letter, handwritten, found on a stone bench near Trail C3. It was inside a black envelope, sealed with red wax. No sender, no date, only 3 words on the front. Remember me? If you're reading this, then something went wrong. Or right. I can't tell the difference anymore. The forest showed me things the mind cannot grasp. People existing in more than one time at once. Parallel lives. Repeating cycles. Implanted memories. And an entity. With no name. Only purpose. It feeds on what we forget. On the gaps. The lost memories. Every person who vanishes here isn't taken. They're forgotten. As if they never existed. Ethan Walker never disappeared. He was replaced by me. I am him. Or was. The forest gave me this chance. Gave me time. In exchange, it took the original. The missing don't die. They keep existing. But in another layer of reality. A plane where time is a trap. Where no one ages. They only repeat. Mom is still here. I hear her singing sometimes. Sometimes she recognizes me. Other times, she fears me. If anyone finds this and still remembers me, go home. Don't follow the curve. Don't touch the stone. Don't say their names. Because whatever is on the other side already knows you. After the letter was leaked, the government denied everything. Claimed Section 0 doesn't exist. That Adam Sloan was never a registered journalist. That Ethan Walker's disappearance never happened. But Adam's final video still circulates on hidden forums. In it, he says something no one can unhear. The forest doesn't take you. It remakes you. In 2025, a new disappearance was reported. An 8-year-old boy named Ethan Sloan vanished along Trail C3. His mother swore she heard his voice days later. But what he said wasn't a cry for help. It was a warning. Don't look for me. Now, it's your turn. And what if the real reason for the disappearances is to keep someone from coming back? If you want to see more stories like this, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.